Hello guys, it's James and we're here for the round 23 footy bets. Holy shit, what a rough week last week. This is our first negative round since our round 11 bets. So that's like 3 months of just positive bets. And boy, do I hear the sky falling sometimes when you have a bad week. Like you can pick winner after winner, you can have correct pick, you can do everything right, and then I made a decent mistake with the Noah Anderson pick and the Cooper Lord tag, but yeah, man, sometimes it's like a bit of a reality check as well. Like we've gone the whole year, yeah, and we're up like $4,000 just betting $50 on each game and doing the bonus bet strategy and stuff. And yeah, but in reality, a very rough week. And I think I said a couple of weeks ago that I usually peak like a month or two before the end of the season, and then these last couple of weeks, you can have upsets. You can have West Coast almost beating Adelaide. You can have players who are 9 and 10 out of 10 getting role changes or just fucking going missing. So it's all a part of betting. That is literally betting. You win some, you lose some. You'll often lose more than you win, but if you're consistent, this is a marathon. I don't have to repeat myself and say shit that I've said in countless videos when we're at round 23. But again, thank you for all the support. Thanks for the likes. Thanks for the comments, like the thumbs up, because yeah, I'm kind of stressing a little bit right now because it's 11 a.m. and I'm only just starting this video, so I'm going to try and fly through it. There's a bunch of misses. We'll get through them, but yeah, a little bit unlucky last week, but that is all part of it. And to have our first, literally, like I said, this is since round 11. So that's, it's been 11 rounds since we've had, and that was almost 3 months of like just winning. So bound to change sooner or later. But yeah, start off round 1, which was the Hawthorn-Collingwood game. This one hit. I missed half of this one because I had some work thing that I had to stay back and do, but I managed to get home and watch the second half where, although Collingwood got pumped, Lipinski, Pendlebury hit comfortably in the end, and side bottom, they managed to pick it up in the second half after looking like they weren't going to hit. Yeah, like I said, it's almost 11. I'm kind of worried I'm not going to get this out in time. Stengel, I was bullish on last week, who hit. He didn't get like a posse in the last quarter. He got 2 posies. He was on, forgive me, the small Essendon defender. It's like his second game. He was on him and really made Stengel accountable. So Dersma has had like 3-4 misses all year, so I was really expecting him to bounce back, which he did. So, oh, sorry, I'm talking about games that have already happened. Anyway, so McGrath, he was spending way more time in the midfield. Essendon's team is depleted, so that one was pretty safe. Bailey Smith only just hitting 30 posies against a depleted Essendon. I would have thought he got more. And Jeremy Cameron, we jumped on the Jeremy Cameron shenanigans bandwagon, and far out, he looked like he was going to miss. And if he's not kicking like 6 against a depleted Essendon at Geelong, like home, that was almost worrying. But in the end, it didn't matter because Stengel went missing and Dersma missed. So Game 3, Richmond, St Kilda. I got to watch half this game before heading to the Gabba. Jack Steele was a big concern. I know he hit last night, but he played that game all on the wing. He had a huge last quarter where he got 9 posies in the last quarter, but that's because he was playing on ball. Rest of the game, he was playing on wing. Jacob Hopper's his second miss for 22 all year, and that just happens. Someone can be super consistent, only have 1 miss, and then, yeah. And that's kind of annoying because then it doesn't let you get the bonus bet for the next game. Will Ashcroft, I called that he was going to get the most CBA increases, the most minutes in the midfield up with Lachie Neale out. Will Ashcroft plays on ball anyway, but most of the time, like he's 50% CBAs, he's 50% starting half forward and will roll into the footy. So this was a great opportunity for him to just get on ball. Didn't happen last night as much, but yeah, this one was great. Callum Mills, I've been bullish on ever since like his first game back. He was on the wing and then he's gone half back. Him and Blakey are really just sharing the role well back there. It's working great. Isaac Heaney made Brisbane look stupid. Jasper Fletcher has arguably, or in my eyes, a little biased. I think he's been the most improved player. He's only had 1 genuine miss when he's been in the half-back role this year. Otherwise, the other misses were on the wing. He had like 30 posies last night, far out. Justin McInerney bounced back after the week before, but he's out now for the rest of the year. So he's been a great bet. Noah Anderson, I did say at the start of the video that, yeah, this is genuinely my mistake. I knew Cooper Lord was tagging Sarong last week and he kept Sarong accountable. Maybe it was because I was like, oh, Anderson at the time was like second in favourite for the Brownlow. I was like, it doesn't really matter. Gold Coast going to pump him. Noah Anderson's in great form. And you can see down there, 33 posies, 38. His quiet game, oh, he had one tag game that was 19, but which was another tag game that was 19 posies. Oh, I've written 13 posies for Noah Anderson there. It should be 19. Anyway, yeah, so that's genuinely my bad. I'll put my hand up for that one. But the rest are like players like Dersma should be hitting. Stengel should have hit against Essendon. Jack Steele, he did have a bit of a role change the week before, but like, I can't expect him to play wing when he's usually getting CBAs, and he did last night. Yeah, I don't have to justify them all, but yeah, the Noah Anderson was a genuine, actual my bad. Connor Rozee missed 19 out of 22. I have loved Connor when he's in the back line, but yeah, this was a big little hiccup, because if I go to his CBA attendances, Connor Rozee had, if I go to report, it's easy when Jono's here because I can check this. He had 73% CBAs, which you think is great. He's playing on ball. Connor hit like 50% of the time last week. Connor hit around 50% for 25 posies when he was in the mid last year. Mid, he's a bit of a roller coaster. He had a great year 2023, but you know, what good is that data at the moment? So yeah, I loved him when he's half back. Midfield, I'm not as bullish. I know he's coming off an injury, but he was ready to play the week before, but he was actually sick. So the injury wasn't affecting him. He was just sick. So he should be good to go. If he's playing, he's healthy. Yeah, Connor, I expect for 20 from now on, but my bullishness of like 30 posies for Connor is definitely not there anymore, especially with Connor, Kane Farrell taking all the kickouts. Luke Ryan hits. Oh, I'll skip all the hits. I need to get this ready. Bet 7, Tom Powell. This is another role change. Like North Melbourne have been one of the hardest ones to keep on top of with their role changes, because if it's not someone going to the wing or Sheasel doing merry-go-rounds on ground, Tom Powell, who's been one of the Bulls inside contested ball magnets, he played the whole game wing, so there was no chance he was going to hit. As soon as he did play, he had 30% CBAs last week, and then as soon as he went, was playing on the wing the whole game, fuck, that was rough. And yeah, there was no chance he was hitting after that, which is very unlucky, because you do like everything else right. You know, Connor Iden, Caleb Daniel, Finn Callahan to pop off, and Finn Callahan, mind you, came off 2 weeks of misses, so expected him to bounce back, but then Tom Powell is thrown aside to the wing. Might be different with Simkin coming back, but who knows? Oh, and Riley Sanders. So these last 2 bets, there's 2 Sunday bets, which I'll show here. What I showed on screen actually hit, which was annoying, but I did a comment in the YouTube section because Bailey Dale's price plummeted. So I was like, well, I'm going to include Norton for the goal, and I reckon Riley Sanders will bounce back. But I think he had no posies in the last quarter, maybe one. But damn, when he went, Riley Sanders was playing like half forward in that last quarter instead of on the wing. I don't know. I know the game was close and stuff, but man, he looks timid. Just in that last quarter, like, you know when players like want the footy, want to help, want to contribute, he's playing on the fat side on wing, or he's playing half forward, not around the stoppages for some of it. So it was a bit annoying. I still like Riley Sanders because he got so many brownie points throughout his whole year. He's only had like 3 misses, so don't want to write him off too early, but 2 misses in a row, like 11 and 12 posies, they're not just misses, they're like quarters where he goes missing, so we'll keep that in mind. And then this game, actually, I was pooped on Sunday. I fell asleep. I think I watched maybe a quarter. I don't even know if I watched a quarter. I fell asleep through the whole game and then woke up at like 8 p.m. So apparently I missed a cracker. I thought I could sleep through this one, but Berry, who I think I've lost my patience with Berry. Berry, I really thought would be a good Matt Crouch replacement and step up, play, like he's playing mid. You know, you expect your midfielder to get 14 posies. And against West Coast too. First verse 18th. Like you could not. Anyway, Josh Worrell, I do understand him missing. Even though the game was close, I don't mind a backman missing against the bottom team. Liam Baker, he has also gone through some role changes, whether he's playing mid, on ball, half back. He was playing half back mostly the year. Then he was thrown forward. Then he was playing on ball, but now he's off ball. Tim Kelly's on ball, playing really well. Hall's there. So just. I know he kicked a goal, but again, I didn't get to watch this game, so he might have been playing half forward. But even if he is playing half forward, I still kind of like him if we're in the lower bracket, so we'll keep that in mind. Slight hiccup, had the wrong game on screen, but let's quickly fly through this. Connor Iden, 16. Took Miller, John Noble, 22. Whitfield and Green, 25. So already it's just a little bit hesitant, just with 4 players of the bet being over 22 or more posies, which is a lot. So, you know, obviously like half the field usually gets around 15 posies, and then the top end will get, you know, 20 plus. So I'm really hoping these guys are consistent and hit their bracket. I kind of like to spread it out a bit more, some 15, some 20, but yeah, we've gone top heavy just because I don't think there's many other viable options for this one. We'll go through. Well, I'll speak about the guys I've included. Connor Iden has barely missed. He's had a great year. Actually, let me get this set up in the background while I can check this. Yeah, it's usually good. I can check these stats while Jono's talking, but I've got to do it on the fly and rush through it at the same time. But Connor Iden has only had 4 misses for 16 all year. He's only had 2 misses for 15, so I really like Connor Iden to keep going in the back line there. Took Miller, you guys know, has come back from the injury. He was actually subbed 2 weeks ago as a tax sub. 62% game time, then 79% game time. He's usually mid 80s or low to mid 80% game time, so I think his game time will actually go up. Yes, I know Sam Flanders is sort of back in the team, but that doesn't affect Took Miller. But yeah, I think Took will have decent CBA opportunities like he usually does, and if he's getting 25 in reduced minutes, I think, yeah, he can, all the more reason to get more with more minutes. John Noble, obviously no Dan Rioli, so I think he has a great chance of hitting. 22 does seem like a lot, but here you can have a look. The 20 posi game was against Adelaide, where he just scraped by, but you know, it was against Adelaide. I can understand him for missing his mark there. These games are without Dan Rioli, so he is just having the lion's share of kickouts. He's looking confident. He's only had a handful of misses all year, but we have bet on Noble for 20 in the past, so 22 is just that little extra, it's just a bit more to ask. So he's had 5 misses for 22 all year. 3 of them are in his last 10 games, and there's no Rioli. He's averaging 28 in his last 3. I really like John Noble. Lockie Whitfield has had probably 2 misses all year, and they've both been 24 posies. And Tom Green, when we go down to the 25 posi bracket players, he's like 4th in line, behind Anderson, Whitfield, Ash. Tom Green is like as consistent as they come, and he is a contested beast. And like for the whole year, right? Tom Green has had 2 misses. One was a 16 posi game against Sydney, where just gone unsighted, and then the other one was a 24 posi game against Geelong. Other than that, he's had 2 misses all year. He's 18 out of 20. I really like Tom Green. Let's go through the other ones. Callum Brown, I mean, yeah, sure, but I just highlighted there because he's 8 out of 10, averaging 1.6 above. If I am going a forward, it would be against a bottom team, not really against Gold Coast, but highlighted for the sake of it. No one in the 12 posi bracket there that I like. I mean, yeah, there's Sam Taylor, but I would like him paying more if I was going to bet on him. 14, Will Power did miss last week, coming off a miss. There's no Rioli, but yeah, in the back line there, you'd have also Joel Jeffrey, Bodie Euland. Just because there's no Rioli doesn't mean like his posies have gone up, but he's also had stinkers this year. So yeah, I like him, but if I was to include, I definitely want better value. Toby Green, yeah, sure, I could definitely see him hitting, but Gold Coast, Toby Green's actually, yeah, I don't know. The small forwards, I like if they're playing a lot more mid, like Rankin is a good example. I like him when he's playing on ball a lot more, not when they're mostly in the forward 50. 15 posi bracket, Connor Iden, Will Power, same deal. I mean, I could bet on him, but when I've got Connor Iden, who's just more consistent, averaging more above his bracket, I'm definitely taking that. And it's the same deal for him in the 16 posi bracket. Not many more I would pick from here. Alex Davies, I think he's had 3 games for the year. He's actually looked pretty good, but with Took Miller's game time increasing, I think, yeah, he's probably just going to not be as needed as much, but we'll keep tabs on him. Actually, yeah, I had a note here. Yeah, CBA is dropping. Anyway, that was for Alex Davies. No one else here. I just keep it on the screen for a little bit in case you guys want to have a look. 18 to 22. Harry Himmelberg has looked a lot better. He did have a little experiment where he was playing around on the wing. That seems to be over, and he's back into the back line. It's also probably affecting Lockie Ash as well. But Harry Himmelberg is finding a lot of form. So look, I could highlight him despite his form and bracket not being great, but his recent form is jumping off the page. Joel Jeffrey actually had a stinker, but I do like Joel Jeffrey. I rate him to bounce back. I think I just would like better form. He's one game off being 7 out of 10. Same reason as Harry Himmelberg. The 6 out of 10s don't really jump out of the page for me unless I know I have good reason for them to be on sort of bullish form. Braden Fiorini, I'm surprised I didn't include him, but it's just he's for 20. So he's 8 out of 10 here, but he's 8 out of 13 for the year. So although he's great, he didn't start the year off slow. He was just playing mostly wing. And like I said, with Miller coming back, taking more CBAs, I'm less bullish on Fiorini. I reckon he'll just be more of an outside player, plus like Flanders. But yeah, so I like Fiorini. I just feel like this price is what we should be getting for 18 plus, not 20 plus. Even though his form's been great of late, just that's the rationale, what I see there. 22 to 30 posi bracket. Took Miller, yeah, very bullish on. I think he's had one miss for the year. I'll quickly check. But yeah, like I said, he's getting more minutes coming off the injury. They'll need him for finals. Yeah, Took Miller for 22 has only had 2 misses. He's only had 1 miss for the year, actually, if you exclude his injury game, so that's fantastic. John Noble mentioned Lockie Whitfield, consistent. Matt Rowell, I do like, but he's just been... Matt Rowell sometimes shows his... Well, to me, Matt Rowell has always been like a bull, a low 20 posi player, like high impact, high tackles. But yeah, he is peaking right now. He's looking fantastic, and I feel like it's taken me a little bit longer to realize that Matty Rowell can get a lot of the footy, but I like him, right? But then when I've got Tom Green down here, who in my opinion does it way more consistently, yes, he's down in form a little bit, but if you take out that 16, yeah, I think Tom Green is fine. He's just hitting 25, but Tom Green is not in any role change or anything. He's still on ball doing what he does, so I like Tom Green. Finn Callahan popped off last week. We got him against North Melbourne, but yeah, I'd rather go a consistent player. Lockie Ash, he's only missed 3 times this year, but 2 of those misses are in his last 3 games, and 2 of them are both 13 posi games. Like, what the fuck? I've been very bullish on Lockie Ash all year. I could forgive a 13 posi game, no worries, because he's been great all year, and I've been bullish on him for All Australian. But 2 in 3 weeks, that's where you got to think like Harry Himmelberg coming back there might be impacting him. Also, Fonte as well. I don't know. There's just Lockie Ash, also Lockie Whitfield. Anyway, I'm rambling. I need to keep going. Noah Anderson, I could see bouncing back. GWS haven't used their tag in so long. Toby Bedford. Look, if you're going to pull out the Toby Bedford tag for finals, you'd better be doing it now. So if they're not doing it now, we'll just keep that in mind for finals. But yeah, Noah Anderson, if he's not tagged and he's just going up against GWS's mid, I definitely rate him. But just that little worry in the back of my mind is there. Goal scorers, a couple here to pick from. I actually kind of like Aaron Cadman, GWS goal scorer. He's been fantastic, especially with no Hogan, 8 out of 10. But yeah, I haven't been that bullish on goal scorers for a while because it sucks going the whole game and they have 1 shot at goal and miss or something. So yeah, anyway, that was game 3. Let's move on to game 4. We have the Carlton Port Adelaide game. Yeah, here we go. So let's go down. Tom De Koning. There's no Mark Pitney. And last week, they versed Gold Coast. He versed, the ruck killer Jono and I have been calling him. And he got 15 posies. So going up against Jordan Sweet, I think he has every chance of hitting, yeah, especially with no Mark Pitney. So his form, 8 out of 10, like it's still fine. I'd take 8 out of 10 any day. These 2 posies over the bracket aren't super enticing, but yeah, like I said, no Pitney, I think he can pop off. Blake Acres playing on the wing, every chance. Yeah, he's had a quieter year than previous, but for $1.35 for 15 posies, he's 1 game being off 9 out of 10, sorry. Yeah, I really rate that. Ollie Hollands and Sard, I've bet on them for weeks on end. They've done nothing wrong. Ollie Hollands, doesn't matter if he's playing halfback or on the wing, he gut runs, he tries everything he can to get the posies, and Sard, there's only like the slight worry on my mind for Sard, and that's Billy Wilson just playing down back there, taking some kickouts, but that's not at this point in time. I'm still happy to back Sard. We'll cross that Billy Wilson bridge when we get to it later on. And Kane Farrell, I think because I'm been less bullish on Rosie and he's playing pretty much all on ball, it just makes Kane Farrell stand out even more for me at the moment. So yeah, bullish on Farrell taking majority of the kickouts, and he's one game off being 10 out of 10, and he's $1.22, so really like that. In the 10 posi bracket, Lockie Fogarty, it's again someone I never would have considered betting on ever, but this 10 posi bracket brings some of these players to light, and yeah, he's 15 out of 18 for the year, so he's got an 83% hit rate. His 3 misses for the year have been Collingwood, Hawthorn, and the Lions, so it's the top sides. And when he versed Collingwood, it's when they were like 2 games clear on the ladder. So look, he's going up against Port Adelaide, who are bottom 8 team themselves. I really think Lockie Fogarty's a good chance, and I was very close to including him in this bet. So yeah, $1.26, 2.3 over the bracket. I was very tempted. In the 12 and 14 posi bracket, not as many players here that come to light, so I'll pause. I can move on. 14, it's the players. Well, actually, I was bullish on Blake Acres, but I think I can get him for one more posi in the 15 posi bracket just to help get this comfortably over $3. Yeah, Tom DeConing I spoke about. No Pitney, I like him. Willem Drew, done absolutely nothing wrong. Very close to including him in the bet. Willem Drew, for the whole year, he has had 2 misses for 15 plus. So yeah, really like him. Connor in the mid doesn't worry me. I still think, yeah, Willem Drew has, I think, the most CBAs for Port Adelaide all year. Willem Drew, he averages 67%. Like, I exclude the Ruckman because the Ruckman should be there most of the time. So he's only behind Butters. Yeah, so I like that with Willem Drew. Same players who I've been speaking about here. It's the same players. Drew, Sard, Hollands. 18 to 22, Kane Farrell, who I did speak about. So for kickouts for Port Adelaide, Kane Farrell took 8 last week. He took 5 the week before. He took 7 the week before that. He is taking a bunch. So if he's getting almost half his posies just from kickouts alone, that is fantastic. That's all you can ask for. Connor took 1 last week. He took 3 a couple of weeks ago because he missed the Geelong game. But yeah, if I go to CBAs, Connor Rosie had 73% CBAs, which is his highest he's had. Oh, actually, second highest he's had all year. But since that half-back switch. So anyway, actually, let's move on. Speaking of Connor, for 20 posies, I mean, look, we're not asking for 25 here. We're not even asking for 22. Rosie for 20 is very tempting. And he's only had 1 miss for the year, because if you exclude that sore hand game, which I haven't included, and it was last week. And yes, I've just been saying I'm not bullish on him if he's in the midfield, but if your captain is playing midfield on ball for the whole game, and Butters is likely going to be the one to cop the Cooper Lord tag, I'm expecting Rosie to hit. I'm just a little disappointed in his form. Yes, he kicked a great goal, and I don't know. I just think he should be getting more. That's just what I'm saying for Connor. But I think he should be hitting 20. And I've highlighted him for 22 for that point, but I'm less bullish. Like, look, he's 1 cent away from being a great price, like someone I'd include. So, yeah, I like him for 20. I haven't highlighted a bunch of plays here. Sam Walsh is back. I don't know how much game time he's going to have at this point, especially with, missing 2.5 months of footy. So, usually only gets 50 to 60% CBAs anyway, but it just throws a bit of a spanner in the works with what I think Cripps and Hewitt will do. Butters, like I said, is going to cop the tag. I'm actually bullish on Cooper Lord. I did highlight him up here. So yeah, bullish on Lord. Out of his month, one of those games was a sub, and I think I've actually included that game there, which is the 16 posi game. But yes, Cooper Lord, over his last month, 22, 28, no, sorry, that 16 is a proper game. 22, 24, 22, 16, and 18 posi games is huge over his last month. So I like him, really like him, but for $1.28, I want him for like 16 posies, but I can't have it my way. Yeah, anyway, so not really bullish on any of the high posi getters here for this one. I know it's at Marvel, flat track. Carlton usually get a lot of the footy, but I kind of want to see these guys over $1.20. And I'm not as bullish on them for 25. Especially Carlton have been, I know they showed good form in like the second half last week against Gold Coast, but just for the whole year, they've been a little bit underwhelming. So hence why I'm not too bullish. Goal scorers, couple here to choose from. Mitch Georgiades, one game off being 8 out of 10. Yeah, he's been really good for Port all year, even though they've struggled as a side. Willie Rioli for a goal. Yeah, definitely. Like, I could definitely bet on Willie Rioli or Georgiades here for goals. So we'll keep that in mind as we go to game 4, which I'm opening the fixture on my other screen, which is Hawthorn Melbourne, game 5. We have Harvey Langford for 14. We have Sicily for 18, which is, anyway, Jack Viney, 18. Did I say Sicily for 18 or 16? Anyway, Sicily and Viney for 18, Petrarca for 20, and Clayton Oliver for 22. So I said in the last game that I'm not usually bullish on players like who are 6 out of 10 unless I see a decent form spike. I think I wrote a little note down here for Sicily, so excuse my frantic scrolling. Let me just read it. Averages 21 posies since he's been coming back from that month off. So yeah, ever since James Sicily has sort of struggled for the year, he did have that experiment playing forward, back, just overall not in his best form. Since he's had that break, yeah, he is flying, averaging 21 posies in his last month. Oh, no, sorry, since he's been back. This is the form since he's been back. His last month and a half, he seems to be comfortably, well, he had an 18 posie, but you know what I mean? He's in the chance to get 20 posies now, which I really like. So I think Sicily at the MCG, coming up before finals, yeah, I think this is definitely his chance to just really make his mark again and be a decent presence down back. Harvey Langford, I've got notes for these guys down below, so I might have to quickly sneak down again and scroll and see what my note was for Harvey Langford. So yeah, Harvey Langford is 16 out of 19 for the year. So that's an 84% hit rate, which I think is fantastic. He's only had 3 misses for the year, and 2 of them are in his last 10. So his one game of being 9 out of 10, he had one quiet game 3 weeks ago. I think that was the St Kilda game where he just didn't touch it, where St Kilda had all the momentum. So I can forgive him for that. But yeah, otherwise I really like Langford. Sicily spoke about. Jack Viney has barely had any misses all year and he's been super serviceable. So this year, Jack Viney has actually had 1 miss, and it was against Geelong, where he had 70% game time. So I rate Jack Viney. Christian Petrarca, his CBAs have absolutely plummeted. So ever since, not ever since, he has been playing a lot of forward this year, but the last 3 weeks in particular, he would kind of rotate on ball, play a bit of in the forward line when he needed to, but the last 3 weeks, he's gone 40%, 20%, 30% in CBAs. So he has just really gone down. And that's considering he was around anywhere between 50 and 85% CBAs. So he's really, really playing forward a lot. That being said, I'm asking him for 20. And the guy who's been taking his CBAs, Caleb Windsor, isn't playing. So Caleb Windsor has gone 40%. 73%, 65%. His CBAs have just skyrocketed after being at 0. He's gone. Petrarca's CBAs, who have dropped because of him, I think he's going to have to go back in the middle. You know, you can't be embarrassed against Hawthorn. You can't be doing these weird experiments if you're the new coach. So I really think Christian Petrarca has every chance to hit, and it's 20. I'm not asking him for 25 or 22. It's 20. And Christian Petrarca has only had 1 miss for 20 all year. And it was that game, off the top of my head, Adelaide. I'm looking at it now. It was, yeah, the Port Adelaide game where Bergman was hard tagging him. So Christian Petrarca, I really rate, especially because Caleb Windsor is out of the CBA rotation because of the injury. And Clayton Oliver is just consistent. I don't have to, well, consistent is a strong word for him this year, but I know where he's going to be playing. I expect him to get shitty handballs, do what he needs to do, not be damaging, but he's getting the footy. I like that. And he's 1 game off being 9 out of 10 too. So anyway, let's scroll down to the 10 out of 10, 10 plus players. Jack Gunston, yeah, sure, against Melbourne, I think he's every chance, but Stephen May's back. Tom McDonald will be on him. Old boy. I just highlight him because he's 9 out of 10. And his 1 miss has been 9 posies, so he's very close to the mark. Tom McDonald hasn't missed all year for 12 posies. I was very bullish to include him. Very. The only reason that just scared me off a little bit is Hawthorn's all their key forwards at the moment. So Hawthorn are running with Mitch Lewis, Cal Shadir, Jack Gunston, Mario Coll. Yeah, no, he's on the bench. Yeah, I was going to say. So they're running with four tall forwards. Tom McDonald will have to play a bit of a shutdown. That's the only concern. But he hasn't missed all year. So, yeah, like I said, I'm very bullish, but slight worry in the back of my mind. If I come down to 14 posi, Harvey Langford, who I spoke about, has only had 3 misses for the year. One of those misses was in the Avalanche game against St Kilda, where St Kilda did everything in the fourth quarter and he didn't get a touch. So yeah, I really like Harvey Langford. That's for 14. I'm asking a winger / on-ball help to get 14 posies. I think he should be getting that. Connor McDonald, high half forward. Yeah, I like, but without the top of my head, he would probably be 50% hit rate for the year, Connor McDonald. Connor McDonald for this year, yeah, pretty much bang on. Oh, for 14, sorry. 1, 2, 3. He's missed 6. So he's actually 13 out of 19 for this year. But anyway, I like a small half forward in a game where I expect them to win by a lot. Hence why I've highlighted for this one. 15 and 16, Harvey Langford, same deal. No one else really jumps out off the page. Stephen May, yeah, he's coming back from the suspension. Ed Langdon used to be one of my locks, but even since that tagging job, he's been inconsistent of late, still on the wing. So Jack Scrimshaw, injury risk. Blake Hardwick could play anywhere. Yeah, no one really there. Josh Battle, and lost all his value. We've been on the Josh Battle bandwagon or train for probably the last month, and yeah, he's lost his value. And yeah, I don't want to be betting on him for 16 because yes, he's had 2 great games of late, 22 and 26, but you've been betting on him all year. He's like a 14 to 16 posi player. Yes, I'm asking him for 16, but yeah, I don't want to jump on him after his 2 best games. Jake Bowie, someone who's actually come down a bit to the 16 plus posi bracket. Very tempted to include. Christian Salem is popping off a lot there, but what helps Bowie is Stephen May coming back, someone who can take kickouts. Well, Salem and Bowie take kickouts, but Stephen May, if he takes a kick out and intercept mark, he'll look for an option, whereas he's a bit more structured. He'll want to switch the play, want to keep it in Melbourne's possession, whereas before Melbourne would just tend to bomb it long, try and find Gawn or just a contest down the line. So yeah, I like Bowie for 16 or 18. And you can see I've highlighted a bunch here for 18 plus. Well, Ginnivan I also like, Connor Nash. Yeah, a couple of players I like. I don't have to speak about everyone. Oh God, it's 11:30. James Sicily I spoke about. Warpool Rivers. Rivers in some good form lately, although he started the year a bit quiet. I like what he's been doing. Jack Vinley, only 1 miss for the year. Ward, Bowie. Ward stepped up a bit since Will Day went down. So yeah, I like Ward. His CBAs, I'm pretty sure they're not amazing, but he plays around ball anyway. Yeah, so Josh Ward, yeah, he'll average around 40 to 50% CBAs. They did have a slight peak last week, but Warple's back too. So I don't expect too much from Ward because Warple should help carry that load. Bowie, Ginnivan spoke about. Couple here for 20 plus. Oliver, Petrarca, I like, super consistent. Carl Amon, Salem, Newcomb. Newcomb, even though he's 5 out of 10, this is someone who's had probably their worst patch of footy in the last month, but last week against Collingwood just really showed he can still do it. So that is kind of, look, I expect Newcomb to get 20 plus every week. So this is why I'm highlighting him. I'm hoping his bad form is done, but I want to see more first. But by the time you see more, he's going to be like $1.10. So anyway, it's a great time to bet him if you think his form is going to continue. Impey, yeah, sure. He's had an amazing run. Yeah, he's 1 game off being 9 out of 10. Yeah, I don't know. I just haven't been as bullish on Impey. Actually, don't get me wrong. I've been very bullish on Impey when we were getting him for 15, 16. But as soon as he kind of crept up to 18, 20 plus, that's where I've teed it off. But man, he's hit 6 games in a row. Crazy. 22 plus. Spoke about Clayton Oliver. He has an 85% hit rate this year. very consistent. He's one game off being 9 out of 10. I think he's a Melbourne's best chance at getting the footy. But also with Petrarca, who I'm very bullish on, but I just took for 20 posies just to be just a little bit safe. I did say Caleb Windsor took a lot of his CBA minutes, but Caleb Windsor's gone, so I think Petrarca's just going to not fully slot back in, because they'll probably still give it to like Pickett. Other players, I can't think off the top of my head, will probably also get a bit of a rotation, a bit of a look in there, but I think Christian Petrarca will definitely take like a big chunk of that. And goal scorers, Jake Melsham, Ginnivan. Melsham has been in amazing form, and Ginnivan's coming off a miss, so yeah, pick that. No one really for 25 plus that I'm bullish on, all red, or 30 plus, so take that as you may. But let's go into game 6. Game 6 is the Adelaide versus Collingwood game. So I'm low-key gutted because I'm catching up with friends today, which is great, don't get me wrong, which is awesome, but I think it means I'll have to miss this. So when I get back, I think I'm gonna go the whole night and just not check the scores and watch it delayed when I get home. This should be a great game. First versus fourth. Collingwood have had a couple of bad losses, so they need to respond if they're going to play finals. Anyway, enough about the game. On to the bet. I'm going to show you a little bit behind the curtains here. There was a lot of options I wanted to pick from here. So I unhide. What I usually do is I put all the players I like up here, and then I'll slowly cull them down to the ones I really like. So there's a lot of good players up here I really wanted to include, but this is what we ended up with. So Isaac Rankin for 15. Oh, I should write my notes up here so I don't have to scroll down. But Isaac Rankin, I didn't actually write a note for. I have to go off the dome. I'm pretty sure he has only had one miss all year. And yes, he has had to play a little bit forward with no Josh Rochelli, but his CBAs spiked again last week. I didn't get to watch that game because I said I fell asleep, but Isaac Rankin should be playing more on ball anyway, especially come finals time. So he went from 32, 20, 8, 4% CBAs over the last month, really small, to 62. So he had a great stack of footy. For the year, Isaac Rankin hasn't missed 15 all year. So yeah, at that rate, I don't really care where he plays. He's 1 cent off being like one of my favorite prices at $1.20. So yeah, hasn't missed all year. I know it's against Collingwood, but no reason not to include at the moment. Even if he is playing forward pocket, I don't care. He's going to come up, get the footy, and Adelaide are going to try and find him. Lipinski has had one miss all year. Well, he's had 3, but you take 2 off because he got concussed one game, and I forget the other injury game. So 1 miss all year, and it's 13 posies, and that was a month ago. Yeah, I really rate him. Wing or half forward, looking for inside 50 deliveries. I really rate Lipinski. Brayden Maynard, I was actually going to include for 14 posies, but I thought just $1.33, just that one extra posie I really rate. 9 out of 10. That one miss there is a 14 posie game, so very close. He's only had 4 misses for the year, but there've been 14, 14, 13 posie games, so I really think he can. Hit. Josh Worrell, coming off a miss last year, he is. I really like Worrell. I think he should make All-Australian this year. He's been fantastic. If he's getting a 15 posie game against West Coast, I think he's going to bounce back. Done nothing wrong all year, been fantastic. If he's missed by 1 posie, I'm jumping back on him to hit again. And Scott Pendlebury has only had the 1 miss all year. If you take out his sub games, starting or activated sub, whatever, his 1 miss was against GWS in round 0, so that's ancient history now. So yeah, I really like Pendles. Brody Mychek, I thought 8 out of 10, $1.32, great value, but again, it's against Adelaide, and I think this game has a chance of rain at Adelaide. It does, actually. Anyway, so there's the 10 posie bracket. 12 plus. Mitch Hinge, very tempted to include, very tempted. 1, there's no Rory Laird. Mitch Hinge had a great year. He had a great back end of the year of 23. He had a great 2024. This year he's been a bit quiet. For 12 posies for Mitch Hinge, like, come on. I think Mitch Hinge has only had 3 misses for 12 all year. Mitch Hinge has had, if you take off an injury game, he's had 4 misses. No, for 12. He's had 2 misses for 12 all year. His 2 misses have been 10 and 11. So I really rate Mitch Hinge. No Rory Laird. Very tempted to include him, but I don't know. Yeah, there's also, like you saw before, there are a bunch of players here I wanted to include. Mitch Hinge was up there. I really also like Wayne Miller, who I'll speak about, well, for the same reasons. I'll speak about him now. No Rory Laird. When Rory Laird was out, like around earlier in the year, he had his highest time on ground when he was out round 21 or whatever that was. But then Rory Laird's out again. I don't expect the world from him. I know Brodie Smith's coming back in, but Brodie Smith being what, like almost 34 now, I don't see Brodie Smith getting high 20 posies, but I do see Wayne Miller sort of stepping up. So anyway, let's go back down to the bracket we're supposed to be in. Mitch Hinge, I like. 14 posie brackets, bunch here to choose from. I really like Darcy Cameron too. He's going up against Riley O'Brien, who is in pretty good form. The only reason I'm just not going Darcy Cameron, again, 9 out of 10, 3.6. Usually the big body ruckman like Jared Witts, Riley O'Brien, Oscar McInerney when he was playing. Actually, funny enough, Fort is also kind of being a bit of a ruck killer at the moment. Anyway, the big lumbering ruckmen who don't like run and jump, it's kind of the grounded boys usually keep the other ruckmen to low posies. So that's the only reason. But it's 14 posies for Darcy Cameron. Darcy Cameron, actually, another reason just why I look up Darcy Cameron, Brayden Maynard had 26 posies against Adelaide, I think, in his last encounter. So that was another reason why I like Brayden Maynard. Yeah, 24 posies, sorry, not 26. But if I go back on the Darcy Cameron train of thought, Darcy Cameron has only had 2 misses this year, a 12 and a 13 posie game. Yes, the 13 posie game was against Adelaide, so there's that little bit to think about, but yeah, I think he's every chance. Even though he missed against Adelaide last time, 14 posies, Darcy Cameron I like. Isaac Cumming playing on the wing, yeah, sure. He'll be playing with Sidebottom or Crisp, who get a lot of the footy themselves, so keep that in mind. 15, Rankin, yeah, like I said, I don't really care where he plays, hasn't missed all year. Ben Keys, yes, he's 9 out of 10, but fuck, he can have a month stretch where he misses. And to get 8 posies against West Coast, yuck. Doesn't really bode me with any confidence, but 9 out of 10, if you like him, go for it. Dan Houston, Jono and I called last week that they were just going to feed him the pill, which they did. They needed him in form before finals, but it could be too little too late. So 22 posies, yes, he had a stinker of a game anyway. So yeah, I think Dan Houston has every chance to hit this week. Playing at Adelaide Oval, and Collingwood usually have I think Jono told me that they've won the last 11 or something. That sounds crazy. 11 or 7. They've had a good run against Adelaide at Adelaide Oval. So I think Dan Houston, being his old home ground, needing to get into form, I think like all the sort of stars align for him for this one. Lipinski spoke about, has had 1 miss. Maynard looks great. 24 posies against Adelaide last time they met. Darcy Cameron, same guys. Worrell coming off a miss. Wayne Miller I spoke about. Shined last time with no Rory Laird. Keys, Lipinski, Cameron. Again, apologies for flying through this. It is now 20-12. Oh my god. Oh shit, the game's at 12:35 today. Oh, I'll have to post this. Usually it's at 1:20. Fuck. Okay, it's not gonna be out in time. Damn. Steel Sidebottom, 18 posies. Yeah, every chance. He has had a quiet patch. Josh Worrell, 18 I like. I'm bullish for 16, and we can get him for a good price for 16, so 18 I don't really have to do. Scott Pendlebury's had the 1 miss all year I've spoke about and included. Nick Dacos, or both Dacoses, not enough value yet. Pendlebury also like for 22. Josh Dacos, 25, yeah. I think they might be trying to give Houston a bit more of the ball. And again, like, there's so many bathwater moments, like so many good calls. Like, I wasn't bullish on Grundy the week before. I said also I'm not keen on Dacos because I think they're going to give it to Houston. No matter how many good calls you do, it gets fucking washed aside by 1 or 2 mistakes. But anyway, Josh Dacos, I think he's had great form I know he's had great form all year. I think he can bounce back. It just depends, yeah, how much they're feeding him the ball. His little centre bounce CBA minutes, they've dropped back off again. That experiment, well, it's around 20%. It's not fully over. It's still a bit there. But yeah, we'll see if he goes back to just a half-back role. Goal scorers, good options here. Keep in mind there's a very strong chance of rain, so see how the game's going beforehand. But $1.20 for my check or memory, yeah, I really like. goal scorers for Adelaide are a bit short. Anyway, moving on to the Sunday. Oh, God. The North and Richmond game. So this one, 6 legs. It's a little hard sometimes to find value for the shit teams. I don't know what it is. They just don't pay very well. But Sam Banks, we've almost lost his value. We've been getting him for 18 for ages. I'm not ready to take that 20 posi game bracket leap yet, just because Jane Short, Nick Floston are getting a lot of it down there. 18 is great for Banks. I don't want to take the next step. Anyway, Toby Nankervis, 8 out of 10. He's averaging 3.5 more than his current bracket. He's at $1.24. He's going against Cherry, who, again, I wasn't bullish on Cherry, even though he's just come back from a suspension. He was, amazing last year, but he's had low posi games this year. This is Cherry I'm talking about. So even though Toby Nankervis is versing Cherry, one of the better ruckmen, he's not having the best year. So I really think Nank, the ruckman, the captain, will have a good game against him. Wardlaw, I said I'm not bullish on players who were 6 out of 10. Since he's come back, his CBA minutes have gone up. Tom Powell's have gone down. They want George Wardlaw playing around the footy, and it's actually same as Sheasel. Both of their minutes have gone up. North Melbourne have been one of the hardest to track for role changes because they just rotate players almost on a fortnightly or monthly basis. It might not look like it, but they do. So yeah, George Wardlaw and Sheasel are both playing on ball, which I like. Someone who's not going around the merry-go-round, Caleb Daniel, he's in the team for one job: distribute, get kicks, take kick-outs. He's getting 20 posies. I've said it almost like every video this year. If he's not getting 20, that's when he's getting dropped. He had, I think, 1 miss for the year. Or maybe 2 misses. I'll quickly look right now. Caleb Daniel has had 2 misses for the year, and they've both been 18 posies against Geelong and Brisbane. Great competition. So I can definitely excuse 18 posi games if he's doing it consistently, but it doesn't matter. A blip every now and then is fine. Caleb Daniel should be getting 20. It doesn't matter if it's against Richmond or a bottom team. Jacob Hopper, he's had 2 misses all year for 22 posies, and he's coming off 1 last week. So yeah, I really think Jacob Hopper can bounce back. Harry Sheasel is getting the midfield minutes, so even though he's had a couple of misses in there and his bracket isn't as high as I'd like, he's coming off 2 33 posi games. It'd be crazy if he gets taken out of the centre bounce rotations, but for North Melbourne, his CBAs are usually quite low. He's averaging 35% for the year, but last 2 games, both 70%. So he's gone from CBAs early in the year, he's gone to half back, he's gone to half forward. His CBA minutes just went the last 2 weeks. So let's see if it keeps that way. But yeah, 10 posi bracket, Cam Zerha, I think he's every chance to hit against Richmond, playing at Tasmania. Yeah, he's just averaging right around 10, so don't blame you. Nathan Broad, I like, our little cash cow. He's going down about 1 cent per day, so I like it, but I'd rather go Toby Nankervis, who is not 10 out of 10 like Broad is, but I think he's every chance, even against Tristan Cherry. Let's fly through this again. Apologies for how much I'm rushing this. Oh, I'm annoyed I'm not going to get this game, the Gold Coast game, out in time. Finn O'Sullivan, Camden McIntosh, 9 out of 10. His last miss was actually against North Melbourne, which was that 13 posi game. But if he's getting 13 posies against North, it was very close. He's having 14 posi games. Just be careful because he could be sub risk. He could start sub. He could be subbed off. Otherwise, I'd really like him. Nank, I've highlighted again. Cherry, look, I've highlighted. I think he's going to bounce back. Look at his last month and a half form. It's not the same bracket that we're used to as last year. So yeah, until he bounces back, but I think I'm just not going to bet on him this year. George Wardlaw, spoke about his CBA minutes going up, just like Sheasel's. Wardlaw has been the highest they have been this year, with 65% the week before and 70% just last week. So yeah, really rate that, especially with Tom Powell seeing no minutes last week. Not 1 midfield minute last week, or rotation. So I really like George Wardlaw just of late. And he's getting more game time. Hopefully the concussion or the injury concern is gone. But yeah, I really like George Wardlaw to get 16 posies from someone who should be playing mostly on ball. Dion Prestia in the 18 posi. Sam Banks. Yeah, I like Sam Banks again, but I just can't take that next step for 20 plus. So Nick Floston, I like. Actually, yeah, really like Nick Floston. Haven't highlighted Tom Powell for that reason, that he's not getting on ball at the moment. I have to see it before. I can't be guessing if he's going to be playing on ball this week. 20 posies. Daniel Parker has only had about 4 misses this year for North Melbourne, so he's been very consistent. Same players. Harry Sheasel, who I said is getting the main CBAs. Again, I really apologize for the short chat, but I'm hoping I can get this uploaded in time, but it might not. Anyway, Cam Zurhaar, if he's kicking a goal, he's kicking 2. All his misses, every time he's had a miss, he's kicked 2 the following game. So I really think he can bounce back against Richmond at Hobart, one of North's home grounds. So yeah, I really think he can bounce back. Game 8. Haven't placed this bet again. I say it every time, but wait till you get more bonus bets or tokens or whatever it is you use for a bonus bet. Just make sure it's covered if you can. That being said, Tom Atkins, Tom Stewart for 16. I can't believe Tom Stewart is in the 16 posi bracket. That's wild. Nick Blakey and Callum Mills, they're both one game off being a 9 out of 10, and their miss in that time has been 19 posies. They are very close. They are both doing well in that role in half back. They're sharing kickouts. I like them down there. And Brian Myers has been huge for Geelong this year. Someone who has just thrived getting more of the footy. He's great. 9 out of 10, averaging 4 more than his bracket. Huge. I haven't included anyone higher, like 25, or I will speak about that when we get to him. Lewis Melican, 8 out of 10. Him or McCartan will be shutting down Jeremy Cameron, so you'd expect one of them to reduce their posies to try and nullify Jeremy Cameron shenanigans. So highlighted because he's great price and great form, but yeah, I don't know if he'll do it against Geelong. 12 posies. Tom Papley, his form is actually not as bad as it looks because the 8 and 10 posi games are both from last year. So if you look at this year's form, he is 6 out of 10. He's 6 out of 8, and he's coming off a miss. So yeah, I really think Tom Papley's a good chance, even though it's against Geelong, playing at the SCG. If he's having no injury concerns and plays out the whole game, I think he's every chance for 12. Stengel bouncing back after being shut down from the small Essendon defender who I can't pronounce or picture their name. Tyson Stengel, yeah, every chance to bounce back. DeConing I kind of like, actually, especially because Sydney don't usually have a great forward line, and McLean will have to help in the ruck with no Grundy. I actually kind of like DeConing. Anyway, Oliver Dempsey, every chance to hit on the wing, but he's probably matched up on Goulden, so good luck. There's the 12 posi bracket, or 14, sorry. Let's go to the 15. Zach Guthrie, 7 out of 10, but he just teeters on the bracket. He can have quiet games. He'll be taking some kickouts, but in my opinion, why would I go Zach Guthrie when just for one extra posi, I can go Tom Stewart for $1.32. Same price, 9 out of 10. Only concern is his body. So if he's playing the full game, I think he's hitting. That miss, the 13 posi game, was against North Melbourne. Do I expect him to get 16 posies where Geelong win by 100 points? No, but I expect him to get 16 posies against Sydney, where it's going to be a close game. So I really rate Tom Stewart at that price. Is insane to me. Tom Atkins, I've been avoiding him because he's been this price for 18 plus. You just wait a bit and he drops back in price. So I like him for 16. So I'll jump on him now. 18 and 20 posi bracket. Isaac Heaney, not quite there for price. Sheldrick gets a lot of the footy. He does have low time on ground. So whatever happens, until sort of his minutes continue to go up, I'll be more bullish on him. But yeah, when he's playing like 70% or less time on ground, it's a lot to ask for. Tom Atkins spoke about. Blakey and Mills doing a great job down there together. Isaac Heaney, I am a little worried about the Mullen tag. Isaac Heaney made Brisbane look stupid last week. He can't be kicking like 4 goals every week and having 20 plus touches. Geelong should be sending someone to him. I'd be surprised if they didn't. So any other day of the week, this is beyond tempting, but I'm just worried Geelong are going to do something to make it not party time for Isaac Heaney. So that's why I'd rather go the guys in the back line. I think they're just going to continue on with what they're doing. Blakey and Mills, I meant to highlight there. There we go. Into the higher posi bracket, Errol Goulden has done really well in his last 3 games of footy. And this is what I wanted to see. I want him to have, a month or so back where he finds his feet. But now he's had a month finding his feet and he looks great. So tempted to include him. I don't think he'll cop the tag. I think it'll be Heaney, but It's also why I haven't highlighted Smith, and I'm not that bullish on Holmes, because James Jordan, he's definitely playing, right? Because, yeah, he's definitely playing. So Bailey Smith being that price for 25 is crazy. Surely some attention goes to him, but Max Holmes is more damaging, so I can see him also going to Holmes. So I hate these little mind games when you're trying to place a bet. Anyway, a bunch of goal scorers to pick from. Take your pick. I don't want to go Jeremy Cameron. We went him last week against Essendon, and he just scraped by for 4 goals. He could do it against Sydney. Usually it might be against the teams you least expect, but again, that's a bit of the roll of the dice. So if you want to indulge in that bet, go for it. Game 9, last game of the round. We have Doggies versus West Coast. Bit of a one-sided game, but let's quickly go through this. Ruben Jinby, let me go to my notes. He is 11 for 21 for the year, right? That is garbage. He is like just going around 50% hit rate. But he is 20 out of 21 if you go 11 out of 11 posi bracket, right? So let me just say that again. He's having a hit rate of about 50% for the 12 posi bracket, but he's got a hit rate of like 95% for the 11 posi bracket. I know the 11 posi bracket isn't a thing, but I'm just saying he has had so many games with 11 posies, so he's always very close, very close. So I really like Ruben Jinby just for that one extra posi against Doggies at Marvel. I feel like the ball's going to be down there a lot. Doggies midfield is stacked, so Ruben Jinby should be having a deal a lot. I know he'll probably be on Norton or Darcy, but yeah, Ruben Jinby, every chance to get a lot of the footy down there. Oscar Baker has been huge. He has been a sub-risk of the past, but I think he's cementing himself in the side there where he is not being subbed, playing full minutes and looking great, playing off half-back. He usually play like a wing role, but I think he's been more helping in the back line. Jack Graham coming off his first game last week, 14 posies. I think he can get one more posi. Now it's his second game after a month out. Liam Baker, I wouldn't be including for 18 or 20, but we can get him for 16 plus posies, which is great. So if he's wherever he's playing, I expect Liam Baker to get 16 posies. Yes, he's had a couple. He had an 11 posi game, 14 posi where he is also playing in the forward line. But look, if Liam Baker's had, I think he's had maybe 2 misses for the year for 16 plus posies, and one of them was last week, I'm very bullish. Yeah, he's had 2 misses for 16 all year, so I think he can bounce back. Tim English, this Jono was speaking in my mind when I was doing these bets, because I think he would be saying he can have a good game against Matty Flynn. Tim English is in great form. His last 3 games, averaging around 20 posies. Yeah, like I said, going up against Matt Flynn at Marvel, every chance. So let's go through this. Sandy Brock, key defender, I don't know enough about. He'll be playing, yeah, I don't think he'll get much of the footy, but just highlighting for the form. 12 plus, yeah, Ruben Jinby I spoke about. He has a bunch of 11 posi games, so he is always very close to 12, which I really like. Great price, great value. 14, Tom Coll playing, yeah, we'll get some of it in the back line. I don't monitor enough, but $1.17, maybe if it was a bit more, I'd be tempted to include. Clay Hall, I was very tempted. He's had 1 miss this year playing on ball. He's, yeah, looking great for West Coast in a pretty average year for them as a team. Oscar Baker, though, I think I'm more bullish on just because I've watched more of. What does concern me is sometimes that Luke Beveridge salad, because he might, you know, chop and change the mix and shuffle his team around. So he could be sub, he could be anywhere, but I think, yeah, Oscar Baker's should have his spot there locked down after a nice 20 posi game. 15 plus, Graham, Garcia. Graham, I think, can bounce back. Garcia, yeah, sure, but I think this is more of a game for like your Bonts or your Ed Richards to go big, which I'm surprised I haven't included, but I just don't think the value's there. Anyway, Riley Sanders coming off 2 pretty bad misses. I thought he would have jumped up a lot more, but he's gone very quiet. Tom Coll, yeah, I spoke about him before. Clay Hall, having a good season. Again, apologize for running through this. It's almost 12. I'm actually gutted. I'm not going to get this video up before the Gold Coast GWS game. But Ryan Marrick, he was taking a bunch of kickouts and then thrown back to the wing. God, like, there was no point to bet on him last week. He was like $1.01 for 16, or maybe you couldn't have even bet on him for a 16 plus. There was no reason to bet on him then. This is now tempting territory because he's had 1 miss all year when he was tax subbed. So Ryan Marrick should be getting 16 posies. I just wish he was worth more. Baker, spoke about these guys. Bailey Williams, he gets very close. He'll have a 15 posi game, but yeah, every chance to go 20. Lockie Bramall, yep, get some of it in the back line. Joel Frazier had a great game, but he's been on the wing for ages, so I don't really expect 16 plus from him, even in a one-sided game. Let's keep going through. Liam Baker, I still think he's a chance for 18, even though he's coming off a quiet one. It's against Adelaide, though, mind you. So, all right, I've paused on here. The higher posse brackets, Tim Kelly, his midfield minutes have just gone again through the roof. Yes, he usually plays midfield anyway, but he wasn't getting the centre bounce rotations like he was earlier in the year. Yes, he had a bad form slump, but I'm just highlighting he's had a great 3 weeks. So not enough for me to bet on him, but just noting. Kennedy, I feel like this is kind of the type of player that will flourish. Yeah, I was going to include him. Surprised I haven't. I think Matt Kennedy for 20 plus at $1.28 is great price because, as you can see, like Bont, Richards, Dale, Libber's still got a bit of value there, but yeah, usually in these one-sided games, a lot of the top players lose their value. So, you know, Bont, for example, 25 plus against West Coast. Yeah, he could do it. Bont is not usually a huge accumulator. He's more damaging, but against West Coast, he should be, you know, taking the piss. Ed Richards has probably been one of the best the best players all year, so I really rate him. Yeah, McCarthy should have a bunch of kickouts. There's no Liam Duggan to take any more from him. Ryan Marrick might go down back there as well, but he could easily just stay on the wing. McCarthy actually played some midfield minutes last week. Oh yeah, so I did watch a little bit of the game before I fell asleep, but yeah. Goal scorers, yeah, I mean, there's Sam Darcy here for three, sorry. But like, you'd think Adelaide would have pumped them last week, but they didn't, so doesn't fill me with that much confidence that like doggies will pump them. Anything can happen. So to bet on 3 goals for $1.20, the only time I bet on something stupid like that was Jeremy Cameron for 4, but it's against a depleted Essendon at home where he's actively going for 100 goals. So I'm not as bullish on these guys for 3, even though it's against West Coast. Yeah, anyway, so I'm going to quickly finish chatting right now. I need to upload the video. Thank you all so much. Sorry about the bad week. Hopefully I'll get this video out in time. All right, peace. I'll chat to you guys next week. Peace.